Who do you talk to when you're the one everyone else comes to for answers? Today I'm talking about the lonely side of studio leadership and leadership in general, because being a studio owner, being the boss, it can get really lonely sometimes. You might be staying up late in the studio doing the administration, or you're at home on your own at midnight answering emails. Everyone else has gone home. No one's teaching any classes. The studio is dead silent, and there you are working, really plugging away in that loneliness, which it is. Not even your partner may understand it. Sometimes they may even wonder why the heck you do it in the first place, and they may not even get the passion. Your partner, your friends, your family. Sometimes people just don't get what you do. There's an endless to-do list. You've got so many decisions on your shoulders. You may not be invited to the staff get-togethers, or you find out that everyone's off to a party and not you because you're the boss and no one wants to hang out with the boss. So let's talk about the lonely side of studio leadership. And the goal today is for you to be seen. Yeah. And I've got some support options for you as well. So I'll share them later in the show. Let's jump in.
I'm Josephine Lane-Cuba, and welcome to Studio Talent Collective, the podcast for dance and performing arts studio owners. Here we share industry insights, inspiring stories, and real talk to help you build a thriving studio and in-house talent agency. As a performing arts business coach and talent agent, I'm all about dreaming big and growing together as a community. You're in the right place. Let's leap in.
Hello, and welcome. Welcome to today's episode. Just for a funny start to this show, it was in the car. We were listening to podcasts on the way to school. I was dropping off my kids. I've got a 10-year-old daughter, 8-year-old son. Dropping them off at school, and I was listening to a podcast, not my own, but my podcast was in the list. And my daughter's like, "Is that you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And my son's like, "Oh, are you on the news, Mum?" I go, "No, honey, it's a podcast." They don't really podcast. They don't really get it. And so my daughter's like, "Oh, can you put it on?" So I put it on, and it's like, "Welcome to episode 200 and something." She goes, 200 and something episodes? I'm like, "Yeah." And I only mentioned this today because it's funny, right? Because even my kids, like, they know what I do, but they don't know all the intricacies of what I do. And that's the thing, especially when you're a solopreneur and you're out there and you may have team and all that jazz, but you're in your own bubble creating the work. Even my loved ones. I mean, my husband has probably never listened to an episode in his life of what I do, and that's fine. But yeah, it's just really, really interesting sometimes that you forget that sometimes even your family, who are your closest and dearest, aren't 100% connected to your work. And so let's jump into that as a concept, right? Because the reality of studio leadership is that, we love to lead, we love creating opportunities, we love shaping the culture of our community, but with leadership comes distance, yeah? Sometimes it's the nature of the beast, and you can sometimes be friendly. You can be friendly with others, you can be friendly with your team, but you can't always be friends. Yeah. You can be loving to your family and you can share the wins and you can share particular things in your life that you're doing, but they're not your business partners. Yeah. You may have a partner who's your business partner, and to you, this could be a different scenario. And even then, there's a burden that lies on each individual partner, isn't there? In any business, there's a weight of responsibility, really, because you've got staff, you've got the families that you need to manage, you've got your students, you've got parents, you've got the finances, the scheduling, and ultimately it's all on you, the quality of the outcome. it's the part that no one talks about, even success can feel isolating when no one gets it. So I have had many moments when I ran my studio where it felt lonely. I mean, I'm still a business owner. I have a talent agency, as you know, but it can be lonely. I think as well, there was one particular moment where I thought I was building a really cool relationship with my team. And it was the end of the show week or whatever. And I always take my team out for dinner at the end of the show, whether it be directly after or an organised thing. But there's some sort of dinner or occasion that's scheduled in, and the team comes and we share a meal. We share a meal. It's on me. Thank you to all. And that's kind of the vibe. But I do remember this one time, everyone was going to a restaurant after a show that I was producing through my studio. And I'm like, hey guys, so what are you up to? And blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, we're just going out for dinner. Oh, okay, well, have fun, guys. See ya. And I wasn't invited. Everyone else was. All the staff were invited except for me. And, I get it. I do. People don't want to hang out with their boss. They want to talk about me behind my back at the dinner. But it doesn't feel good. Yeah. There's been other scenarios that are very similar. For example, I remember there was one of our staff was a theatre performer, and she was in a show, and she told everyone, hey, I'm going to be performing on this night at this venue. If you want to come, grab tickets, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, of course. I would love to come and see your show. So I put feelers out to the team and I said, hey guys, Eden is going to be performing at XYZ, Newtown Theatre on this date in this production. Maybe we could grab some group tickets and go all together and support her. And they were like, oh, sorry, we've already got tickets. So they'd already organised it and bought tickets separately, and they were going together, like as a team, as friends. And again, I wasn't invited. And I was cool. I went, oh yeah, cool, no worries. I'll just go with my husband, and I went with my husband. But yeah, team are not your friends. And again, I understand that, but it doesn't mean it doesn't feel like rejection. It doesn't mean that it doesn't feel less lonely. You want to have these relationships. And in some ways, I was really proud of the fact that I'd fostered a culture where the team connected at that level. So that was cool. That was a good outcome. It's just that I wasn't always a part of that picture. Well, most of the time, actually, I wasn't a part of that picture. And I was a bloody good boss, I'll tell you that. I'm going to toot my own horn here. I'm actually a really good boss. I'm so fair, and, I would do gifting and events and, bonding and paid training sessions and all the things you're supposed to do, but it doesn't lead to friendship. And so that is something I learned over the years, and now I'm very okay with that. But again, it doesn't mean it's not lonely. And this is why connection matters. You have to ask yourself what's missing. Connection matters, and it doesn't have to be with my team. Actually, connection is more powerful for me with other leaders, especially leaders that are within my industry. So, even the more experienced you become, the smaller your circle gets. And that's not to say that you're not a collaborator, you're not a champion of others. I have an abundance mindset. I am here for it. I want to connect with others and build their business up. I believe that if I build up other people's businesses within my community, then that builds up our industry as a whole, which comes back. It comes back to me. community over competition. I've got the t-shirt and I don't just wear the t-shirt for swag. I wear it because I truly believe it. Yeah. So yeah, the more experienced you become, the smaller your circle can get. And that's because you start to seek out like-minded people. So, for example, leaders. And we need places, we as in you and me, we need places where we can drop the armor and have real conversations and not feel like we're competing. I think for too long, studios have felt like there's a competitiveness around, what's the person doing next door? Are they going to steal my students? Are there enough people in my community for us to both get some? Again, that lack of the abundance mindset. It's a very, very much scarcity mindset industry that we're in. And there's reasons for that. We're in the arts and there can sometimes be, less money than in a corporate space. But that doesn't mean you can't make money. You've just got to be very creative and firm in your approach. But yeah, it can be difficult for people to decipher the passion to the business. And so when the business isn't going so well, they go into a scarcity mindset and they start worrying about the competition and, if that person goes there and, they do ballet and tap at my studio, but they're doing acro over there and we won't allow that. And I just think people have the right, they can have the autonomy to choose who they seek services from. I actually never had a problem with people doing stuff at other studios and them doing stuff at mine because they were still coming to mine. And as long as I offered something special and different in my studio, for me it was the talent agency and that sort of side of things, then I knew that I had long-term customers that loved us, regardless if they did acro somewhere else, And when you start to get controlling of the environment, you can lose customers, especially in this landscape. It's a very different customer. It is not 10 years ago. It's not even 5 years ago. People have different expectations of what consumerism should look like. And so it's free and it's flexible, and the market has dictated this in the sense that you can't control everything as much as you could before. So it's important to sort of release the chains, so to speak, and be open-minded to the competition and learn from them, become friends with them, get to know them, yeah? Have conversations, real conversations with them. The power of peer connection. I'm not talking about coaching right now. I'm not talking about coaching. I'm not talking about courses. I'm talking about the peer connection, the power of peer connection, just being seen and supported, and I've craved this kind of support. Like, I want you to ask yourself, what kind of support have you craved in those vulnerable or difficult or challenging moments? Or even in the highlight of your career, what support have you craved when you are smashing goals and you just want someone to give you a pat on the back? When I had these conversations within my cohort of industry like-minded leaders, I really did feel less alone. I've got a very good friend, Simone, from Disinfluencer. She was actually on the show a few weeks ago. I'll get that episode up for you because I think that's a really good listen. She talks about, disability, inclusion, very powerful episode, and something we should all be thinking about. The Power of Disability Inclusion with Simone Isles, which is episode 210. So if you get a chance, flick back and do listen to episode 210. You won't be disappointed. So she's a fellow talent agent. She manages talent as well. She manages people with disability and special needs. Different model to my business, but whatever. So, but we're in a similar space. So we can have these conversations. I also have conversations with fellow studio owners, even clients. I have not shied away from picking up the phone and calling one of my clients and saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing. Do you have like 2 minutes to lend an ear and tell me what you think about this idea? And would that suit your business? But you can have these conversations with friends as well, like pick up the phone and start to get to know your neighboring studios and organize a coffee. I remember before COVID, I actually went to an event that was just organized in, I don't know, Facebook group or something. And about 5 of us ended up, I think it was 5 of us, something like that, 5 or 6 of us ended up going for a lunch. So 6, let's just say 6, top of my head now, 6 studio owners who had never met in person before communicated through a group saying, hey, I'd love to connect with some like-minded people and just talk shop and talk studio biz and have some fun. And a few of them said, yeah, I'm down. And a group of us said, cool. We organized a lunch. And to this day, that was 2019. I think it was literally, or 2020. It was just before COVID hit. And it was so funny because we were talking about all the challenges of studio ownership, and we had no idea that in a few months' time, we would be literally shut down from a worldwide pandemic. We didn't know that was coming. So we laugh now when we think back on that because, what we thought was hard then didn't compare to what was coming up. But that's the nature of it, right? Everyone's hard is different. We've got new and upcoming studios now that are post-COVID startups, and they have no idea what it was like for us during that time and the scars that some of us still hold from that period. I think I mentioned it a couple of episodes ago that, there was debt recovery that I had to go through that time. And, through strategy and all the things, we managed it. But it was hard and stressful, and it was a lot at the time. And there's going to be people that don't understand that story, but there's going to be people that do, And those women that I met that day, one of them ended up joining Studio Talent Collective and is one of my beautiful clients. The other one, I pick up the phone and have conversations with, and she actually was a speaker at my Studio Biz Summit, and I love that, and we've connected online. Another one had a beautiful studio in the eastern suburbs, which I used for a branding photo shoot, and I gave her a call. I said, hey, Sinead, do you mind if I book out your studio? And she's like, of course. Like, the relationships and still connected today. And she also came to my summit. The relationships that I've built over the years with these women, because we connected and had conversations and we put aside the fact that we were studio owners potentially competing with each other. Like, who cares, right? The other thing I've noticed is within my group is that we've got studio owners that have connected in the same way, and they've actually gone out for coffee and they can pick up the phone and call each other. And that's the power of community. So I think more of us need to be genuinely connected. And this brings me to something very special. Okay, I want to invite you into the conversation here. I've actually got something coming, and it is all about community, conversation, and connection. I want to be really clear. This concept, this community that I'm building, it's called the Green Room, and it's got nothing to do with to-do lists, masterclasses, none of that. This is a pure connection space for like-minded studio owners and industry leaders. So before I launch it, I really would love your thoughts. So I've put together a quick survey, which will help me shape what this community becomes So I am in survey mode right now. I'm going to be launching it in the new year. But right now, I really would love your support. I'm here supporting you as your cheerleader each and every week. Now I'm asking you to be my cheerleader. I'm asking for you to give me your invaluable feedback. So if you've ever felt the lonely side of leadership, I'd love to hear from you. I've popped a link in the show notes. It is a digital, like Google form. It'll literally take you 1 to 2 minutes, not even. Like, it is so quick, and it is a very quick survey about my green room concept. So hit the link in the show notes, and please complete it. I would love you to do that for me. That would mean so much. And also, it will help me build something for you that you can benefit from. This isn't a high ticket thing. This isn't like a crazy whatever. This is, again, community, conversation, connection. Because remember, leadership doesn't have to be lonely. You can build something within your community of like-minded peers. And I believe we can build something different together. So this is why I created the green room concept. And if you could do the survey, that'd be totally awesome. If you, for whatever reason, if by some fluke of a thing you can't see the link in the show notes, which is there, you can also DM me on Instagram at Josephine Lane Cuba or at Studio Talent Collective. And we'll make sure you get that link. Just say, hey, shoot me the green room survey. Happy to do it. And we'll shoot you that link. So here's your reminder. Even the people who seem to have it all together need connection too. Yeah, sometimes we feel like we have it all together, but we need connection. I need connection. That's why I join, virtual networking groups, etc., virtual chat groups. I'm in accountability calls. I do shared like shadow workspaces, workrooms, which is basically a Zoom room where I jump in with a few ladies and we block out a couple of hours a week to do a particular task. And we're not talking to each other, we're shadowing each other and just there in a workroom environment. It's so good, and you smash out the work, and it's so good because if you do have a quick question, you can just come off mute and go, hey ladies, quick question. Love shadowing and workrooms. That's the vibe. But anyway, I'm going off topic here. Sorry, I get very excited about connection. So that's it for me today. Do the survey. The green room is coming, my friends. I'd love you to, put your input down, regardless. This is obligation free, guys. It's just a survey. It's like, whatevs, just do the thing. And let me know what you think. I will see you again next week. I have been so excited for 2026. It is unbelievable. I have not felt this excited about a year in business for a very long time. Like, I'm always, enthusiastic, don't get me wrong, but I am literally excited about 2026. I have mapped it out like crazy and I'm still going with it. I've already done my annual plan. I've done all the things. I've marked out, which marketing campaigns I'm going to be doing each month, what events I'm going to be at each month. I'm already putting deposits down to be an exhibitor at events. I've got my deposit down to be at Dance Teacher Expo in Sydney in 2026. I'm also looking at Victorian Dance Festival. I'm looking at the Australian Dance Festival. So I am it's all about being in the room next year. My goal is about being in the room and actually meeting you guys. The green room is virtual. It's a virtual concept, but I want to be in person. I want to be online, wherever the room is, whether it's a Zoom room or it's a live room. I want to be in it. So, there goes my dog barking at the guy who's delivering my daughter's Halloween costume from Amazon. Gotta love it. She's going as I don't even know, bloody axe girl, literally like with blood, a white t-shirt. She's bought vampire blood, and we've got like cut tattoos, and she's got like a headband with like a knife in it that goes through her head. She's created this concept on her own, by the way. God love kids, man. God love kids. My son has no idea what he wants to do. So he's like, I'll just do what she's doing. I'm like, so do you want me to buy you a white t-shirt and we'll just put blood on your t-shirt? He's like, yeah, and I want to hold an axe. I'm like, okay, you hold an axe. My daughter will have an axe through her head. You'll both have bloody t-shirts and like scar fake tattoos on your face and arms and stuff. And they're like, yay. I'm like, cool, done. Gosh, I've gone on a tangent. That's because the Amazon guy's there and the dog's barking. But yeah, so anyway, 2026 is a vibe. I've even marked down like all of the special occasions that I'm going to be landmarking, charity, charity events, you name it. Like I've done all the things. And just because I love to bookmark episodes that can support you, if you flick back to episode 219, it's called Plan It, Don't Wing It, Creating Your Dream Studio Year Ahead. I've got free resources there for you as well, like my free studio planner and my 90-day planner as well. So, yeah, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. But anyway, I digress. Survey is what this episode's about, and the green room and the connection and community. So start talking to other studio owners, start talking to industry leaders, start building relationships. That's what it's all about. Have a beautiful day.
This episode is brought to you by Studio Talent Collective, helping you go from studio owner to talent manager with confidence. Ready to start your own in-house talent agency? Connect with me at josephinelancuba.com or via the links in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, and review. Thanks for listening, and keep shining.